am very excited for the following speaker, nominated by our very own graduating class. Known for wearing a different bow tie every day, his passion for learning always comes through in his lessons.
I commend him for loving physics, which is no small miracle.
Though neither of us had the privilege of having Mr. Cossette as a teacher, we are still aware of the lasting impact he has left on all of his students. This just goes to show how much of a legacy Mr. Cossette has created through his passion for learning and teaching. Join me in a round of applause to welcome Mr. Cossette to the stage.
It's an honor of a lifetime to stand before you here and share some words to celebrate your final high school year. I have 2 kids at home watching Dad before their bedtime, so like a solid children's story, the speech is gonna rhyme. You know, it's like the world's largest classroom standing up here on this perch, but I heard if this goes well, I get to open for Eric Church. Oh, actually, I see that's not actually true. Oh, sorry. Welcome, friends and family who have traveled far and wide, to the teachers, staff, and admin who are sitting by your side. We are gathered here to celebrate each and every one of you. I am thrilled to be here speaking to the class of 22. The class that had 4 years of school where no two looked the same. When leadership was needed, you stepped up, you always came. Picking up the mantle and resetting school traditions, navigating life in ever-changing new conditions. Unafraid to think more deeply and question your ideals, like the weeks of hot debate on if the world has more doors or wheels. Or realizing just how bad you are at auto-completing faces for the friends and teachers you only knew while wearing masks in places. On this day, we can sometimes overvalue awards, and we place too much weight on the medals and the cords, but I want to be clear, just the fact that you're here is enough. We are proud of your high school career. So, before you toss your caps, as the graduates you'll all soon be, here's some advice I wish someone had told to me. I used to think success came when I focused on gaps, to keep putting time in so I could clean up the scraps, but I've started to see that this isn't all true. It's your strengths that need practice. They're the things that you'll do. Why stop at good when you can work to be great? Put your weakness aside. You should load up your plate with the things that are natural, the things that you love, the things that have always seemed to fit like a glove. If you don't know where to start, ask your family and friends. They'll help you see strengths through a completely new lens. But finding these strengths is just part of your mission. You must craft your new skills through smart repetition, learning from failure with persistence and grit, incremental improvements you are proud to submit. I have watched this class show you aren't afraid of a hurdle by the number of times I have caught you on Wordle. For the 3 of you here who somehow haven't heard, it's a game, 6 tries to guess a 5-letter word. If the letter is right, it turns green in that spot. If it's close, it turns yellow, and gray if it's not. You win the game just by trying and learning from guesses. And when you finally get it, you get to share your successes. If it isn't already painfully clear, I think this game shares a lot with your path that led here. When the future is foggy and too much to pursue, just take the first step. The rest will come into view. But what do you do if you've honestly tried with no progress in sight or no sense of pride? Do you stay on that path, or do you find a transition? It's a hard place to be, so let me give you permission. It's okay to quit. I know that doesn't sound right, Doesn't seem that inspiring, not too happy or bright, but sometimes, just sometimes, quitting is good. If there's something else out there that you don't do, but should. When I sat where you sit, this would not have made sense. I never admitted when it got too intense or boring or painful or too far in for me to change. But that prevented me from new things, from looking downrange. The hardest thing I've ever done is the reason that I'm here. So when I chose to quit my job as a well-paid engineer, it was hard. I wasn't sure. I think it would have happened sometime, but if I didn't change my path, you wouldn't have heard these sweet rhymes. It's not too late to change. No one knows for sure, but with a willingness to jump, you might be better than you were. Someone once asked me, what have you made? What have you done to be showcased, displayed? To be honest, at the time, my answer wasn't great. I know what I'd say now, but my response is years too late. So I ask the same of you so that you can all reflect, because what have you made doesn't have to be an object. It could take the form of friendship that you fostered and sustained, or maybe it's a change that you've worked on and attained. Right now, what will you make motivates me more than ever. It gives life to daily chores and has led to new endeavors. And now that I'm a father with this role to live up to, I hope my mini-me's grow up as wonderful as you. Because you leave behind a legacy and your ripples travel far. To see your classmates' strengths and love your peers for who they are. Defending one another's culture, gender, race, or creed. Celebrating differences, standing up for those in need. Amplifying those who felt unseen and felt unheard. Setting an example through your actions and your words. Our experience is shaped by where we're from and how we look. And sometimes our success was more than actions that we took. When in a place of privilege, we must learn and we must listen. We must recognize success is more than effort and ambition. Be aware of the injustice and of people who've been slighted. Find the things that you can do. There are wrongs that must be righted. If there's one thing that I've learned from all this closing and returning, it's that everyone around us is still growing. We're all still learning. I hope when someone asks you what you'll make and what you've made, you can proudly reflect back upon the deck of cards you've played. You are all very special. You have all been quite blessed to have what you have. So I have one more request. Whatever you do and wherever you go, pay attention to moments that force you to grow. Your futures ahead will be filled up with stories of all your successes and triumphs and glories, but the memories that stick and stand out when they've ended are the moments when things didn't go as intended. Someday you'll look back from a new point of view and appreciate the things that became clearer to you in that time with ourselves. At home, disconnected, we learn to recognize things we should have always respected. School isn't just class, and school isn't the grade. It's about branching out and connections you've made. It's the times when we're stretched that push us beyond. When you face these tough times, how will you respond? It is my hope that you'll do what you can to step up and proudly stake your flag in the sand. Using your strengths, you will carve your own trail. It might take a few turns, but I know you'll prevail. The world will be yours. Take care and take heed. Set the example, and we'll follow your lead. Congratulations, class of 2022.